Shout out to all my left laners tapped into the left lane for the left lane mix here on Sirius XM, Shade 45, the Punchline Academy. Guys, make sure you like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com at the Inphamus Amadeuz. Guys, I'm having a great time in sunny California. There's blondes in the beach. There's not a cloud in the sky, and the marijuana is flourishing throughout the city, Miss Get Adams.
Yes, it's definitely flourishing and definitely good weather out here.
Yeah. So if you're a fan of hip-hop, there was a brand new project that is going to be dropping this Friday by Psycho Les and Be Real called Real Psycho. Guys, welcome to the show. What's up, guys?
Hey, thank you for having us.
Salute.
So the crazy thing is that me and my wife were sitting on my steps 2 weeks ago talking about people that we could have on the show. And we had Onyx recently.
Yeah.
Salute.
So we had Onyx. Shout out to Sticky Fingers. They ran it up with the crazy freestyle. And she said it would be a great idea if we got Be Real on the show. And literally the next day in the morning, Grade A texts me, yo, Psycho Les is in town. They have a new project. And it's funny how the universe works. I read that book, The 48 Laws of Power.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is really happening right now. Because here we are
brought
2
that
weeks
shit
later.
into the
We're Be Real on the show, man.
Facts.
It's real.
That shit is real.
Yeah, super real. So guys, so we have a new project coming out. Why now? To collaborate this way and put this project out for the fans.
For us, it was like, why not? You know, we're artists, we're creative people. It's not something that you just turn off unless you get tired of it. You know what I mean? I know some artists that are like, oh man, this shit is like a job and I don't want to do this shit no more. I don't want to travel. I don't want to go to the studio. But for some of us, you know, we still love doing that shit. You know, the competitive nature of hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of us played sports when we grew up. Some street sports, some actual, you know, high school level shit. And that competitive nature stood within us, within the creative shit we got into in terms of hip hop, in terms of writing and you know, making music and whatnot. And I think that shit still stays in our generation. You know, the so-called golden era. A lot of us are very competitive.
Yeah.
And we still feel like we could perform and create at the highest level. So, you know, Leezy, I didn't know he was living here in California for a while. You know what I mean? He was
This guy's low.
He was kind of on the low. And I don't know how we got connected here, but someone was like, hey, yo, Psycho Leezy's out here. He's in Cali. He lives here now. I'm like, what? Like, have him come down to the studio. Let's kick it. And we just started kicking it. You know what I mean? And we're always doing something here of some sort. Whether it's filming or recording or creating something, you know what I mean, or DJing and whatnot. And one day we were like, he was like, yo, I got some joints. I'm like, well, let's check them out. And one song started, and we were like, hey, this shit is kind of tight.
Yeah.
And it went from one song to 3 songs to, you know, it became an album. It was just organic as fuck. You know, we were just having a good time here, smoking, talking shit, and
you was knocking them out like banger after banger, like
well,
bang,
thank you.
bang. It was like I was like, yo.
And you know what? For me, it makes it easy when it's coming from somebody like Psycho Les, right? Because he's giving me these crazy off the hook fucking beats and shit like that. And, you know, as rappers, we all got a checklist of motherfuckers we want to work with at some point, you know, and he's one of the guys I wanted to work with. We're Latinos, prevalent in hip-hop. We've had our successes, and, you know, we've never worked together. And not in the so-called prime years, right? But for me, prime years are not. We're still fucking killing it on the level that we're at right now. So we just decided, let's just fucking do it because it felt right. And you see a lot more golden era hip hop artists collaborating now, like Common and Pete Rock.
Yeah.
Right? And I believe you're gonna see more of that type of shit happening. But Leezy and I, we started this record like 3-4 years ago or something like that.
Really?
Even a little more.
Probably further back,
Yeah.
but because we had crazy schedules popping off at the time. And we still do, you know, Beatnuts out there, Cypress out there, the solo shit and some of the other stuff. We just had a lot of stuff happening in between, and we didn't want to rush it. So we just took our time and, you know, made something that we felt, yeah, this represents us right. We don't want to just put some shit out to put it out. We want to make sure that shit is smacking and it represents both of us.
Yeah.
You know, as a producer, that shit is important.
Of course.
shit gotta sound right.
Yeah.
I'm going back to the studio, touching shit up still, and like to the last minute. Fuck it, let's go.
Yeah, you know, you guys are part of two of the most prevalent Latin hip hop groups of all time. I believe Cypress was the first platinum group, right?
Yeah.
And we spoke. You changed the sound with introducing the Spanish lingo over the hip hop beat, well, English, style. So how do we push this forward, right? Because I remember one time being a Latin rapper was taboo, right? And now we're in a different age. It feels like the golden era is still around. Like you said, your best years are ahead of you, right? So how do we promote Latin hip hop in a way where we can categorize? We have more upcoming artists that maybe could achieve plaques and success.
I mean, that's on all these different platforms, including radio stations, terrestrial radio. If they were to get behind some of us, whether, veteran artists or in the middle or new, because there's plenty of artists out there of Latino descent doing some really good hip hop and shit. Just not enough light touches them. You know what I'm saying? But you're seeing them out there going and trying to get it, and that's the good thing. I think you just got to keep pushing forward, whether they're giving you the flowers or opening the doors for you or not. Because I mean, I could say with Cypress and probably for the Beatnuts, we didn't really give a fuck if you were giving us our flowers or not. We were just going.
Yeah.
And if whatever resonated, so be it. And we would like keep that momentum as much as we possibly that we could if we were to get it. And a lot of Latino groups followed in that nature. So I think a lot of these young bucks that have more opportunities and more doors open to them because of the technology and the way you put out music now, I think they have a better advantage than we did when we came out, because it was kind of taboo, just like talking about weed was taboo. Now everybody talks about the fucking weed. And now you see more Latino artists getting accepted, and creating their own lane within it. You know what I mean? So it's just a matter of keep pushing it. You got to have the music to back it up.
And not give a fuck.
And not give a fuck.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Whether they're giving you your flowers or not.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, I totally agree. So, like, what do you guys think, as guys have been rocking since the 90s, right? What do you think terrestrial radio is? Very interesting. Where terrestrial radio lost touch with the culture. Like, when did it just become super commercialized and now we're pushing an agenda that is different from the core principles of hip hop?
Well, speaking towards radio here on the West Coast, like, because I don't know how it happened on the East or in the South or whatever, but you start having these guys come in that don't know the pulse of the city.
Yeah.
Right? Instead of bringing people in that know and that are from here and know what the people are what's resonating with the people, they go get folks that were successful from other regions and try to implant them here. And then they're playing all kinds of shit from maybe their region over here, and they lost touch with some. I mean, you're gonna get some folks to fuck with it because it's music, it's free music, and if it's catchy enough, cool. But you lose the culture when you lose the pulse of where you're at, and that's when you see, radio stations, urban radio stations, that were at number 2 and 3 drop to 40. Because the people now that they're trying to outreach to are very young, and they're on playlist where it's unedited and no commercials, and whoever the people that are actually representing the station as in terms of the DJs and the hosts of the shows or whatnot, is just not resonating the same way, because they're gearing their music towards people that ain't really interested in listening to it there.
Correct.
And the people that are old enough, right, and would listen, they've alienated them by not playing any of the shit they would listen to.
Yeah.
So, and this is happening in every city, and that's why you see a lot of the urban stations that represent hip hop, where hip hop lives, or whatever the fuck it is, whatever the slogan or phrase is, you see them dropping, and other stations are far above them.
Yeah.
And it's partially that they got people that in these specific regions that just don't know what is catching fire within the city, and who they should support and how they should run it. They lost touch a long time ago here.
Yeah. They lost touch of the pulse. So I during COVID, I was actually researching this, like trying to figure out, okay, why does radio program this way? Like, I have the benefit of being at Sirius XM, so I can play whatever the fuck I want. Like,
Exactly.
we're gonna leave here, we're gonna go to Sirius, we're gonna play all the 90s shit, whatever we want. But so the people that own cars in America, right? They're between the ages of 43 and 55, right? So you have to push music to your audience. If you're taking a younger demographic and playing them on terrestrial radio, they're gonna tune the fuck out.
Right.
And this is the reason why they won't listen to, let's say, the new Psycho Les joint, but they'll go back to Watch Out now and put it on repeat. So let's, as a producer, like, how do we change this sonically? Do you think there's a way that we can re-engage that audience to make them feel like this is a record that, even though it's new, but it feels like that 90s style, maybe even the early 2000s?
Yeah, I mean, to me, man, like, it's all about the ear and what the ear hears and hitting them with, seeing what they're working with and try to incorporate it into a 90s. Not no boom bap, some like even futuristic, more future, like. So yeah, keeping an ear to the sound and knowing what's going on and just coming with your thing,
And I also think it's playlists, right?
Agreed.
Some of our era of artists, we look past those playlists and we're like, just doing it traditional as we normally do. Let's put this record out, however it lands, it lands. But you got to be in those popular playlists,
Correct, yeah.
For it to actually get run, because that's really where the kids, the young folks that you want to tap into, are listening at. You know what I mean? And I could say this, right? Probably for the Beatnuts and any of the Golden Era groups right now, you see a lot of younger folks at the shows, right? And it trips you out because you expect to see people maybe your age and just a little bit younger, but like we're seeing a lot of younger folks at the shows because they're going to the playlist, right? And within that, they're looking at Golden Era groups and like going into their playlists and hearing the music and the dynamics and the different sort of sound and production, and they're fucking with it. And as we've been doing shows in the last 2-3 years, we're seeing these young folks at the show knowing the words, knowing the lyrics, and rocking with it. And it's not something you expect, right? When you're an artist that, 20, 30 years down the line, that you're going to have your core group of people, but now you got younger folks that the music got passed down to. But some of them that don't get it passed down to them, like let's just say from father to son or older brother to younger brother or whatever, or sister. Some of them are doing their own research and going to these platforms and searching for these groups and learning about them. And that's the cool part. So I think it's, instead of focusing on radio mix shows or any shit like that, which is cool if you get it, you got to focus on these playlists.
Correct.
I think.
Yeah, man. Free jewelry here on the Punchline Academy. This is Shade 45 Sirius XM. I'm the Inphamus Amadeuz. Guys, what do you want to hear off this project?
What you want here?
I mean, hit them with that. You might know us.
Okay. All right, let's play this here. Make sure you're in the left lane. Sirius XM Shade 45. Brand new heat by Psycho Les and Be Real. Dropping now. The Punchline Academy Shade 45 Sirius XM. That was brand new Gasoline by my guys Psycho Les and Be Real. We are live in this amazing studio, Miss Get Out. They have a one-stop shop, recording studio, DJ, plenty of marijuana here, of course, right?
And an electric chair. You repeat that shit?
Oh, those are the electric chairs?
Yeah, the electric chair.
In case someone's out of pocket.
Yeah.
That's when you need to wake up.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
sit you there for a
that's
minute.
a
When the
Write it
espressos
down.
don't work.
Yeah. Make it work in the electric chair. So here in the Punchline Academy, we have a top 5 segment. We've done everything from top 5 fast foods to top 5 marijuana strains. And I think it'll be a good idea to ask both of you guys, what are your top 5 hip-hop groups of all time?
That's a good one. For me, it would be Public Enemy, always at number 1. Wu-Tang, Tribe. There's so many good fucking groups.
he needs a little longer.
Beatnuts,
Beatnuts
and the Beastie Boys.
and the Beastie Boys.
Word.
I mean, I would say Run DMC, but like it's all it because they're the ones that sparked all of us.
Yeah.
But they're kind of above that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're above the top
Yeah.
5. They're like
They are the top 5.
They're the fucking gods.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, that's why I didn't mention them, because it's almost unfair.
Yeah.
Exactly. Don't put them on the list.
Yeah. That's what you got.
Shit. Definitely, Cypress Hill, big fan always.
Thank you,
of
sir.
Cypress Hill. KRS-One, it could be solo artists, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Big Daddy Kane, definitely. Biz Markie, and Public Enemy, of course,
Right.
man. And yeah.
Okay.
I could go on forever, man.
All right, top 5 hip hop groups and artists of all time. Hit the comment section. Let me know if you agree or disagree, or did we miss somebody? So I'm from the Bronx, New York, right? And obviously hip hop started in the Bronx. I actually grew up about 5 minutes from 1520 Sedgwick Avenue, which is where this all happened. But it's interesting because my actual first introduction to hip hop was watching you guys on MTV. No, seriously. So
Daytona.
Well, I was born in '83, right? So when did Insane in the Brain come out? What year was that?
93.
So not exactly. So I'm like 10, right?
Yeah.
So this is the first time that I'm witnessing hip hop on television, right?
Wow.
And was this one of the first records to break through nationally on television?
For hip hop, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. It's possible. I mean, for us, hell yeah.
was,
It
yeah.
blew us the fuck
Yeah.
up. And it wasn't something we were expecting, you know what I mean? But it's possible. We never did the research on that, but
Yeah.
we realized it was a big song for us early, because they had us doing every goddamn
yeah,
thing. Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it definitely was a big national song. I mean, we held the #1 spot, I think, on the single chart for 6 weeks, which was a record at the time. It's been broken since then, since we held it, but we held it for a minute, and yeah, so it's possible.
Yeah. And I bring it up because I feel like both you guys have a fusion of styles. Like with you specifically, you have like the Latin sounds over hip hop, and you've always given us like this rock, hip hop, like punk rock, fusion. So, and I was watching something on Instagram where there was an executive from Sony saying that he thought that hip hop would have to go underground and fuse with something for it to come back up and get it to where we need it to be. So as people who have curated the culture and you see everything that's going on, you travel in the world, what do you think is the next sound for hip hop artists?
No one could ever know, because it's really that hip hop is the one art form that's made from all art forms. It's like the fucking Bruce Lee of music genres.
Yeah.
It just goes with any flow. Like, you could make a hip hop song from classical music to metal to punk to R&B to blues to whatever. Hip hop snaps into all of it because it could be made from any one of those genres. So it's kind of hard to say, but when people have went away from sampling, right? That was the challenge. What are you gonna do? Because with the samples, there was a unique art form in putting these samples together, the dynamics of it. What are you gonna do to top that shit? Because we've had some of the greatest of all time putting tracks together through these samples. I mean, one of them is sitting right here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what are you gonna do? And the cool thing is that some guys stepped up to the challenge. Some producers stepped up to the challenge and made something different that wasn't sample based that caught on. And I think that's always going to be a thing. So there might be a hybrid of like a new sound with samples, or something without samples, or it might go back to fucking samples, but in a different way than what we've heard before. So it's just hard to say. It's hard to call where it could go, because it could go anywhere.
I mean, every day is like a new kind of flow or
Yeah.
style or music.
Yeah.
Or every day it's like boom, boom. It just keeps going.
And the thing is that it's yin and yang. You're gonna have shit that's like you don't really fuck with, and then you're gonna have the shit you absolutely fuck.
Hip hop, it's been through a lot of phases. Like there was a time where people were sampling Indian music, and that was big. Rakim, and there was a time where it was rock, hip hop, or disco, whatever.
It's almost every
It's always
culture.
changing, yeah.
Almost every culture.
Reggae,
music.
hip-hop,
has been sampled almost.
Literally. And I think
Pretty
the
much.
unique thing about sampling soul records or these type of records is you can't replace an actual bass player going in the studio and playing those notes. You can't replace a violinist going in, and to take that and to sample it and to filter it and make it sound a certain way is what was the beautiful thing of hip hop. And it created recognition for not only us as younger people, but older people. Like, oh, I remember that record.
Yeah.
And then they automatically tapped into the songs. Now, Les, how do you feel about technology right now? Because I saw Madlib, who's one of the best producers, saying that he's just been producing on an iPad this whole time. And how do
That's
you
crazy.
personally feel? Yeah, literally for the last 10 years, he said he has no MPC, he has nothing. He's literally been doing beats on an iPad.
Wow.
That's it.
That's amazing.
That's
Yeah.
it. So do you think producers should be more forward thinking and taking advantage of technology? I feel like a lot of times just all of us, we're like, you want to be on vinyl, we want to do this and do that. But do you think it's okay?
Yeah, I think it's good. You know, me as a producer, I like to know what everything does. So if I ever need it, boom, I know how to work it. So yeah, and you know, from the old to the new, I'm trying to stay up on shit.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure, man. The Punchline Academy, Sirius XM, Shade 45, Psycho Les, and B Real is here. New project is dropping this Friday. Let's play something off this project, and we back here on the Punchline Academy. Shout out to my left lane that's tapped into the left lane, speeding, smoking, and hopefully getting top on the 405 freeway
Right on the left.
or I-10 in the left lane. Please do not disrespect me, guys.
Exactly.
Hold the left lane mix. Why the fuck are you in the right lane? That annoys me, fellas, so much that, I tell people on the radio, like, listen, I want you to send a picture of you driving, and my mix is called the left lane mix. And you have the fucking audacity to be in the right lane.
Yeah, no, that doesn't work.
Yeah, smoking garbage weed that they got from Aki in 125th Street.
grabber.
Yeah, with grabber in it, right? So one of you.
I can't front. I was that dude yesterday driving
Were
slow
you?
on the fast
you-
lane.
you-
I was just high as fuck listening to music.
There is-
I see the lights behind me flashing like, shit, blowing the horns. I'm like, oh
You were
shit.
high.
That was probably me. Come on, motherfucker.
I'm like,
Run it.
Yo, that's super,
I'm like this.
That's-
Go around the other way,
Yo,
motherfucker.
that is super funny. So one of the main differences that I noticed, this is like my 5th time coming to LA, and one of the main things that I noticed between New York and LA is the way that gang culture is here. It's just completely different from New York. In New York, it's not so territorial.
Yeah.
You could kind of move around, but here it's like you go block A is this and block B is that. So why do you think it's been arranged like that? Is this something since the 60s or the 70s with
Yeah.
the Black Panthers?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Started back then. This block of kids get down with this particular movement, and maybe around the corner.
Yeah.
The next block is like on some other shit, and it just spread out like that. And you don't see it as much anymore, but it's there. It's like an invisible fucking line.
Yeah.
because realistically, in the 90s and early 2000s, the crash units. This is what the gang squad was called.
Yeah,
The
crash
ones that-
units, yeah.
yeah, the crash units, right? They were like making their presence known everywhere, and anytime they seen a group, they were going after them. So if the guys were like out on the corner or out on the street, they were swooping in to get anyone they could. And after a while, motherfuckers just like they're there. You just don't see them.
See them.
Yeah.
They're not outside.
Was
They're not outside like that to be targets.
Yeah. Was this during the Reagan era? Was this?
No, this was well after
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Because during the Reagan era, motherfuckers was out in the street.
Yeah.
Yeah. They didn't get-
Jimmy Carter.
Yeah, Jimmy Carter. That's super funny. So obviously we are in such a unique space where I think we could probably form maybe a super label, right? I think like a Rockefeller type label, like a Bad Boy type label, like Relativity. I mean, so what do you think it takes to actually make this happen? Like, who do we put in position to quarterback this and say, all right, let me take these guys, put them on the one imprint and make it go where we need it to go?
That's a good question. Because the game has changed so much.
It has.
And it's almost like people have cut out those middlemen and said, fuck it, we're going for broke on our
Yeah,
own.
fuck it. Yeah, all
A lot of artists
independent.
are independent now.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you got the means to invest in yourself, a lot of artists are doing that first before they even go to a label so that they could leverage a better deal than what we might have gotten back when we got signed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I also think the kind of music labels put out, like putting good quality, you're gonna get known. That's how your label gets known. Like Def Jam was only putting out fire, so that's how you start recognizing records. Like, oh yeah, this label got fire. So just putting out good music. That's how your
And
labels.
memorable music.
Yeah, exactly. That's how you're gonna blow up a label.
Yeah, it's hard to put it on one person right now because like ain't nobody really got it locked right now.
Yeah, I know, it's super interesting. And I saw a homie from Loud. I guess he was trying to relaunch Loud.
Yeah.
And just out of curiosity, I was like, huh.
Perfect example. Loud.
like, how would that work?
Look at the records they was putting
Yeah.
out.
Like, how would that work today? Like, do you re-sign Havoc? Do you bring Beatnuts? Like how do you make that all work and make it make sense for the fans?
It's the same gamble as it was when they started it.
Yeah.
Like, will the people gravitate to it? Will it resonate? Will it hit? You just never know.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about music. It's like going to Vegas. It's just gambling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You don't
yeah.
know whether it's going to hit or not.
Yeah.
You feel it. You feel like there's a possibility
Mhm.
depending on the work you put in. But it's also resources, too. Like, if you got a great song and zero resources,
Ain't going
Yeah.
nowhere, yeah.
it ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing about independence. Like you could have a great song, but if you don't have a lot of resources, you're only going to have so much outreach on that great song.
Yeah.
But if you hit a lick, right, and it goes viral, it's going to get the attention of the big dogs, and then they're going to come trying to offer the contracts because you already did half their work.
Yeah, and now they're taking advantage of that shit. And it's like you looking like the fucking superstar when you actually
Yeah.
ain't do shit. So looking past this, right? So the project is coming out Friday. What can the fans expect from this project? Are we gonna get more music? Is there a new Cypress Hill project in the works? Is there a new Beatnuts project in the works? Like, what do we have coming up?
Yeah, I mean, we're always working on some new shit
Mhm.
with Cypress. I believe what we're doing for next year is Black Sunday again with the symphony.
Okay. Ooh,
Because we played with the London Symphony
nice.
Orchestra not too long ago, and we recorded and filmed everything. So we're gonna put that shit out.
Fire.
But in terms of new music, yeah, we're constantly working on some shit. I don't have any definitive dates for Cypress, but as it relates to me, I got a project with Exhibit Demrick that's coming. It's our 5th album as Serial Killers.
Fire. Yep.
I have another album with Burner, which is I think another 4th or 5th album.
Yeah. Shout out to Burner.
And in terms of Leezy and myself, hell yeah, we're gonna do some more music. You know what I mean? We got a good chemistry,
Yeah.
and I believe what we did is very different than what most people are doing out there right now. We did us. You know what I mean? And I think his beats were fucking knocking. And I just tried to come with that crazy bar flip and style and tone that was complimentary to what
Classic. Be real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Super classic.
he made it easy. Those beats were fucking fire.
Nah, his
you know what I'm
beats
saying?
always been fucking fire. And I think this is something that the fans need. They need new content, new music, something that makes them feel good. Now, before we get out of here, right, we have such a huge independent artist fan base that follows the Punchline Academy. We've literally built a community of creators, producers, just people, right? And what advice would you have for an up-and-coming lyricist right now, as someone as people that's been in the game 20, 30 years, on how they can advance but stay true to themselves?
Write as much as possible. You know what I mean?
That'd be bad help.
And record as much as you can, but also after you record it, like practice that shit. Like go in there and practice,
early,
know your songs, because what you're seeing a lot from young artists is they don't know their fucking songs.
Yeah.
And that's horrible when
also
you
because there's no talent development anymore.
Yeah.
Also.
yes. Artist development is gone.
Yeah.
It's been gone even like, in our time, just
really?
after the so-called prime. All the record companies let go of this artist development shit because it was expensive, especially if that artist didn't hit. So they stopped doing that. That's why the game is run amok the way that it is. You know what I mean?
It's fucking piece of
We
shit.
need to bring it back. We need to fucking bring artist development back. But that's artists don't even realize that they're doing their own shit, doing the job of the record company before they actually go there. And that's why the record company is signing them in the first place, because they are developing on their own with their own sound and their own get down. And that's what you got to do. You know, keep doing you. Don't try to sound like nobody else. Cancel out all the fucking negative voices that might be there and carry on with that punk rock, I don't give a fuck attitude and just keep moving forward. Now, if you suck,
I can't help you.
and everybody is telling you
You're
that
fucking
you
trash.
suck,
Behind your back.
you got to come to terms with that one day. Listen with
he
that.
sucks. He sucks.
Yeah, if he's fucking trash, man. Shout out to my trash rappers who obviously driving the right lane. This is the Punchline Academy. Special thank you to my guys, Psycho Les and B-Real, put up to the Punchline Academy. New project is dropping this Friday. Shout out to B-Real TV. They made us feel at home. Next time I come, I want to see that. I saw you had like a bazooka weed gun. make somebody pass out. Has anybody passed out in the car during the hot box? Oh,
One of our guys, we were interviewing Kevin Smith in there. Salute to Kevin Smith. We were interviewing him.
passed out.
And that interview went like, that was the longest one we had done because previously we were doing like 10-minute interviews so that we didn't burn nobody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Kevin Smith said, I thought we was going to smoke. And so we were like, oh shit. And the joints kept passing. Before you know it, it's an hour 30. And we did it for 90 minutes in the box, right? When we look back at the footage, our boy E-Zone, who does a show here called We Don't Smoke the Same and High and Hungry, he was passing out, like kept nodding out in the back seat in that hour. He was faded.
Super smack.
Oh, super smack. Some guys have had to take a pause. You know, we don't really do that, but we don't want to kill nobody. So, you know.
Yeah, well, shout out to my left laners who have iron lungs. This is the Punchline Academy. I'm the Inphamus Amadeuz. Make sure you support this new project, Real Psycho, dropping this Friday. Let's play some left lane heat. We back here on the Punchline Academy, Shade 45.